Hey guys, today I'm filming a live brush swatch video of the Milani Pure Passion eyeshadow palette. I will be using the Milani eyeshadow primer, the MAC 242 brush for shimmer shades, and the MAC 239 brush for matte shades. And Milani describes this palette as luminous rose golds and warm berry hues. There are 12 shades. Each is 0.04 ounces or 1 gram. So this is the front of the palette. As you can see, it's quite reflective and it's throwing off the white balance. This is the back of the palette, and the way they've organized this palette is into 3 quads. So the first quad is called Anywhere, the second quad is called Anytime, and the third quad is called Any Day. So it's not really too specific. So there are 6 matte shades, 2 shimmer shades, and 4 foil shades. And these are the shadows. As you can see, the 6 mattes are in 2 rows of 3 each, and then the shimmer and foil shades are kind of mixed together as well. And I will be using the Veromona color switch to clean my brushes in between swatches. And I am swatching these according to the quads that they've designed. So first I'm going to prime my arm using the Milani primer. And this definitely has a tint to it. It's a bit more yellow or golden than some other primers that go on a bit more transparent. So you can see the difference in tone between my forearm and my upper arm. So going in with the MAC 242 here, this shade is called Afterglow. It's a foil, and they call this a rose gold. I'm building this shade up quite a bit to get the best payoff that I can. Later in the video I show that shade with a finger swatch as well, so you can see the difference in payoff. So going in with the MAC 239 brush, this shade is called Truth or Bear, and it is a pale nude matte. It's quite similar to my skin tone, so it's not going to show up all that well. And here I show you how I clean my brush using the Veromona color switch. I don't do this for every shade, I just thought I would demonstrate it once. And then going back in with the 242 brush, this is the shade Biggest Flirt. It is a foil, and they describe this as a sangria color. And finally, going back in with the MAC 239, this is the shade Heat Is On. They describe this as a chocolate brown. The name of this shade reminds me of a song from Miss Saigon, so give this video a thumbs up if you're also a Broadway nerd. Okay, going in with the first shade of the second quad, this is Pink Sand. They call this a shimmering copper with pink reflect. And then the next shade is Totally Fawn of You. It is a matte, and they call this a fawn shade. This is one of my favorite shades of the palette, and in general it's a good kind of transition shade for my skin tone. Applied very well. This next shade is Sunsets by the Beach. It is a foil shade, and they describe this as a copper. And then finally, Spice It Up is a matte, and they describe this as Burnt Sienna. And then finally, the last quad, this is called Lust and Luminous. It is a shimmering rose with gold reflect. The next shade is Always Pink of Me. This reminds me of a song from Phantom of the Opera. This is a matte shade, and it is a peachy pink color. And then the next one is Desert Getaway. It is a foil shade, and they describe this as a rust. And then finally, Late Date is a matte, and they describe this as a dark chocolate. You can see this one has a bit of kick up because I'm really trying to build up that color. It went on a little patchy at first. So that is the complete lineup of shades from the Pure Passion. And this is what the palette looks like after I've done those swatches. So it was completely new before I swatched, and that is the aftermath. All right, and here I am removing those swatches. That was the first pass. I'm using a Kirkland makeup wipe. And this will give you some idea of the longevity of those shades and how much staining there might be. So going in with a second wipe, there's just a couple shades there that really were sticking to the skin, so I went on again. All right, so I let my skin dry. I didn't apply any additional primer. So this is a brush swatch of a foil shade with no primer. Here I am spraying the brush with some Fix Plus. Going back in, so you can see the difference there between a dry swatch and a wet swatch. And then my favorite method of applying these is probably to use my finger. I find it the easiest. So going in here with my finger, packing that on. And you can see the difference in intensity there between the three swatches. So I decided to do the same. The interesting thing is that the first shade is a foil, and they describe these other two as shimmers. I don't see a huge difference between the foil and the shimmer formulas. And this swatch that I'm doing here in the middle, my brush was still probably a little damp, so I think that partially explains how it applied. All right, so there we go, the right side of the brush. And this last one again, and then my finger. So you do get a bit more of a crumbly texture when you apply with your finger, but if you're tapping it onto the lids, you can usually blend that out pretty easily. Alright, so that is my swatch video of the Milani Pure Passion eyeshadow palette. Please let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.